And I'll give her credit. She wasn't taking no shit off Marina Mabry at all.
There's a smile on her face. I have
At
not
all.
seen her interact.
She was not having it. Yeah. How do you deal with a bully? You get in her face. That's how you deal with a bully right there. I dare you. Do it.
That exact moment completely changed the intensity and took control of the entire battle. Kelsey Mitchell never backed away for even a second and did not wait for someone else to save the team. She stepped directly into the pressure and absorbed everything coming at her with fearless toughness.
By the woke Toronto Tempo fans. Oh, wah. Sophie burned them to the ground with some clutch three-pointers tonight. Let's just start right here. 101-95. The Tempo came on in the fourth, 26-20 in the fourth for the Tempo. It got real.
The big question now is what that aggressive mindset opened up for Indiana when the game became extremely physical. Toronto made things difficult from the opening minutes. The crowd was demanding a fight while the underdogs launched a powerful fourth-quarter comeback that nearly overwhelmed Indiana during the closing stretch.
I liked what I saw from Kelsey Mitchell tonight. I like that grit. I like that fire. I like that anger. I like her showing her ass. Good job. Good job, Kelsey Mitchell. 24 minutes, 29 points for Kelsey. 11 of 16, 4 of 6 from three-point range. Just a big game.
Let us be clear, because this was never going to be an easy game. Indiana had to battle for every piece of the court. Several major pressure moments happened at once as Caitlin Clark caught fire offensively before quickly giving important possessions back to Toronto's defense.
What are you going to do? Marina Mabry, you ain't going to do nothing. Yeah, I'm right here. Kelsey was not having it. I mean, I like it. I like that from Kelsey Mitchell. That's as fired up as I've been all year long for. And Kelsey's had a hell of a year. I mean, she is maybe the most dynamic scorer in the league. But I like that kind of fire. I like that kind of, I mean, she did not let Marina Mabry.
Sophie Cunningham had to deal with constant pressure from a hostile crowd trying to get inside her head. Kelsey Mitchell became involved in a heated verbal exchange with Marina Mabry, while Toronto stayed close enough to make every mistake extremely costly. Indiana first had to deal with its own problems.
Just that quick. No shit. Caitlin Clark knocking them down in the third.
Like a moon boot. Yeah. People who remember those.
Right here. Out. Boom. Knocks it down. Coming back down the court. Passes it to Aaliyah Boston way downtown. Booyaka. Yeah, knocked it down. Good stuff from Caitlin.
Later in this breakdown, we need to examine a controversial coaching decision that divided basketball fans. Stephanie White made a major decision that either maintained team discipline or removed her hottest player during a huge offensive run. It was an extremely close decision made under intense live game pressure.
Clark, 33 minutes, 24 points, 4 of 9 from three-point range, 7 assists, 3 rebounds. Did have those 7 turnovers, and man, those turnovers hurt. Because I think she was getting ready to. She had hit 2 or 3 three-pointers in a row, and I was like, oh shit, she's finna go off for 15 or 18 points in this quarter. And when she turned the ball over.
Look at Kelsey Mitchell putting together an incredible offensive performance by scoring 29 points in only 24 minutes. She attacked the defense while going 11 of 16 from the field and connecting on 4 three-pointers. That kind of scoring efficiency immediately changed how the entire court had to be defended.
I like it. I like it from Kelsey. I really, yeah. And if we can just get Caitlin to trim about that much off the turnovers. I knew as soon as, I think it was 3 turnovers in a row in the third or something like that, I was like, oh, Stephanie's going to pull her. Sure enough, she was out. And look, when you have as many assists as Caitlin's got, I expect turnovers, I do. But the way they happened, I was like, shit, she's going to get pulled. And she got pulled. and she was
That is clearly not the performance of someone barely surviving and pretending to be tough. She controlled the matchup and punished Toronto every time the defense made a mistake. Her scoring gave her emotional intensity real weight when Indiana badly needed someone capable of taking complete offensive control.
Caitlin got knocked right in the chops and threw it, but look at the shot. Wow. Hitting the chops, but went to the line. Caitlin Clark with the step back. Coming down.
Indiana cannot become a team that simply waits for Caitlin Clark to save them whenever trouble starts. When Mitchell attacks open spaces and breaks apart defensive rotations, opponents face a serious problem. Double team one star and another dangerous scorer is left completely open to punish the defense.
Stephanie White put her on the bench. Sophie Cunningham, 13 points, 3 of 3 from three-point range. Let's start here. Shout out Mick, who was actually at the game in Toronto. Sophie got booed. So she got booed right there. We also got Sophie getting booed at the free throw line.
The confrontation with Marina Mabrey was more than simple drama because it showed that Mitchell would not give up control mentally. Her expression showed confidence and her refusal to back down was obvious. Neither player needed to become physical because the message had already been understood by everyone watching.
Good win for the Fever, and I got to tell you, for an expansion team, and let me just come over here. Mabrey had 22 points. Sykes, who came back tonight, had 15. One of my absolute favorites, Timmy Fabinlay, had 13 points in this game. I think she is somebody that the Fever sorely miss. Seriously. She's got real length. I would love.
The message was obvious that Indiana would not allow itself to be pushed around or intimidated inside that arena. Truly dangerous teams build a tough identity that makes opponents uncomfortable immediately. Mitchell brought that toughness to a young roster determined to prove it could compete deep into the playoffs.
Me for Billy on this team right now, this Fever team, for length. By the way, Michaela Timpson, 8 points, 4 of 4 from the field, 7 rebounds, 2 steals. And she continues, in my opinion, to be the most athletic player on the court every night she plays. Timpson is an
hostile road crowds always try to turn small momentum changes into huge waves of pressure. When an entire arena is against you, even one normal turnover can suddenly feel disastrous. Mitchell took that pressure and turned it into motivation that powered her scoring attack during the closing minutes.
Sophie hit some big shots tonight in a hostile environment. Kelsey Mitchell said, "I'm the hostile one tonight." I like it. I like it from Kelsey. I really, yeah. And if we can just get Caitlin to trim about that much off the turnovers, I knew as soon as, I think it was 3 turnovers in a row in the third or something like that, I was like, Stephanie's going to pull her. Sure enough.
Aggressive defenses constantly test officials to find out how much physical pressure they can use before receiving a foul. The best response to that kind of intimidation is not a reckless retaliation that earns a technical foul. The better answer is making tough shots directly against them and showing that their physical approach will not work. After that confrontation, Caitlin Clark turned the third quarter into her own offensive showcase. The arena became nervous as she kept launching shots from extremely deep range that forced the defense to stretch. She scored 24 points while also creating 7 fast break assists. When an elite shooter starts pulling up near the logo, defenders immediately become worried. Normal defensive schemes begin falling apart because nobody wants to give her even a small amount of space. Her presence stretches the floor and creates huge opportunities for her teammates to attack. When Clark and Mitchell are both playing at their best at the same time, Indiana becomes extremely difficult to defend. Mitchell attacks inside with constant pressure while Clark pulls defenders far beyond the three-point line. Toronto had very few answers against that combination of scoring threats. But just when Clark appeared ready to take complete control, her aggressive approach also produced 7 costly turnovers. Risky playmaking can quickly become a problem when it gives the opponent easy transition chances. Both sides of her aggressive style were visible during that same third quarter. A primary ball handler carrying a huge offensive responsibility will naturally make mistakes. You cannot ask for creative passing while also expecting every risky decision to disappear. The real question is whether those turnovers come from smart aggression or careless decisions that destroy momentum. When turnovers begin costing several possessions in a row, even experienced coaches have to respond quickly. Stephanie White faced a difficult decision in the middle of a hostile road game. Should she keep her hottest scorer on the floor or remove her before the turnovers completely changed the momentum? If you disagreed with the substitution, the argument is simple: you should never interrupt an elite shooter while she is producing at an incredible level. A hot scorer forces defenses to change their coverage and creates openings across the floor. Taking her out gave Toronto valuable relief from the offensive pressure she was creating. But Stephanie White also needed to demand responsibility because careless possessions can erase a lead almost instantly. Having freedom to shoot from anywhere does not mean a player can ignore protecting the ball. Coaches have to reduce unnecessary mistakes without taking away the creativity that makes a star dangerous. Judging a star guard is not as simple as looking only at the turnover number. Clark took strong physical contact throughout the game and continued fighting through it without backing down. Constant defensive pressure makes passing windows smaller and turns every quick decision into a difficult risk. Indiana's long-term success will depend on improving Clark's assist-to-turnover balance without taking away her aggressive instincts. Finding that balance between the star player and the head coach will take time. Fortunately for Indiana, the supporting cast delivered important production whenever the game became chaotic. Sophie Cunningham stepped up with 13 clutch points while shooting a perfect 3 of 4 from three-point range. She faced a hostile crowd and answered with extremely calm shooting. Her outside scoring stopped defenders from leaving her open while helping against Clark's attacks toward the basket. One of the best ways to quiet a hostile arena is to keep knocking down three-pointers. Cunningham gave Indiana the secondary scoring needed to make the offense much harder for opponents to solve. Her performance showed that Indiana has other players capable of punishing defenses when they focus too heavily on the main stars. Toronto deserves credit for refusing to give up like a typical struggling team. Marina Mabrey scored 22 points while Sykes added 15 during her return to the court. Their fourth-quarter attack pushed Indiana to its limit before the final buzzer. Toronto used its length in passing lanes to disrupt angles and challenge shots near the basket. Long defenders and mobile shot blockers can completely change the court against fast playmakers like Clark. Toronto went on a 26-4 fourth-quarter run that forced Indiana to make difficult plays under serious pressure until the end. Michaela Timson provided valuable effort by going 4 for 4 from the field and collecting 7 important rebounds. She also recorded 2 major steals and brought constant defensive energy that helped swing momentum back toward Indiana. Championship teams need unselfish role players who handle their jobs without demanding extra shots. Timson gave the coaching staff dependable physical effort by winning tough rebounds and preventing second-chance points. Her athletic energy helped Indiana survive several defensive breakdowns without forcing the Stars to carry everything. Hustle and rebounding remain valuable on the road when outside shots are not falling. The biggest lesson from this game was seeing Indiana find different ways to win after its original plan began falling apart. Clark struggled with 7 turnovers while Mitchell dealt with intense emotions on the court. Even with those problems, Indiana found other solutions and escaped the hostile arena with an important road victory. Indiana showed it is no longer a fragile team that collapses whenever its star point guard struggles. Mitchell became the main scoring threat while Cunningham and Timson handled their roles extremely well. They showed the league a tougher identity based on multiple scoring options, strong resilience, and physical confidence.